Okay, we're gonna start that again. Okay. Hi everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to another episode of
Market on the Wall podcast.
And you're with your girl Mamle and
Day
and
Coco.
and we've heard you guys. We know that you guys have been reaching out asking for another episode, and we're back and ready to give you more of the content that you love and that we love personally creating. So what's on today's menu?
Okay, so today we are going to be discussing lessons from living luxury back home and struggling abroad.
It's an interesting one, right?
But why does it happen?
Yeah, why does it happen? Okay, so jumping right in, let's see. You left your home country. For some people, for most, if maybe you come from a quote unquote third world country, you've made an accomplishment. You left home. Mm-hmm. You have accomplished. You have succeeded. You are successful.
Mm-hmm. And it's true, especially if we know that a lot of the world's population is living on $1, $2, $5 income per day. And for when you come to a first world country, so to speak, you're able to earn a lot more than that. So of course it's like, I've done well, I've succeeded.
Right. You can't go to Europe and be like, I earn €1 a day. No, you spend several euros, right? Maybe 20, 50, 100 euros a day, whatever, maybe thousands.
And many people, I feel like they just like their life's goal is to just get away, get out from the country that they're in. Travel abroad, right?
Right. The grass is greener syndrome.
And it's understandable too, because if you're born into struggle, you don't want to stay in struggle.
Absolutely. So we don't blame you. Right. And then, so once you make it to that country, the whole idea is that place is supposed to be better. It's like, yeah, you made an accomplishment, but that's better. So you want to kind of uphold that ideal of, no, I made it to a better situation. I'm not in a worse situation or the same kind of situation. Like, I'm in a better place.
Yeah. And then, so now they have, right, it's not just, oh, I just want to be abroad, but there's specific goals. There are things that they're looking for. So, like, what are some of the goals that people may have?
One that we see all so often is being able to provide for those back home, especially if you have a large family or if some in the family are sick, really wanting to be able to dish out that extra cash, or to be able to pay for someone's school fees, provide the medicine for others, or just make sure that people aren't struggling as much.
Yeah.
And then also maybe like setting up a future. You're like, okay, when I get older, I'm going to retire here. So like, in order to have everything I need for when I retire, I'm going to do all these things abroad so that when I'm retiring, I'm setting up for that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And even some want to make or leave a legacy, wanting to make sure that they've accomplished something, that they have their name stamped on something, or that they can say with their full chest, like, I've made a difference. So that's
building schools, hospitals, roads back in your country, providing fresh water wells, so many different things that people abroad might be able to do for those back home.
Yeah, and I think these are all very beautiful and notable things, right? It's commendable that people want to do these things.
But the question is, like, at what expense?
Yeah, at what expense, right? Who gets affected from doing that? So who would you say is like affected? Like, if whoever the person is that leaves.
Right, and you're struggling abroad, right?
Yeah.
So keeping in the mindset of you're struggling abroad to live luxury or provide for those to live. I would say you yourself, the person who has left your country to go abroad, you're struggling.
Yeah. And let me ask you ladies,
you're affected. I mean,
what does that struggle abroad look like? How would you guys define that?
Working crazy hours or a lot of hours.
Yeah.
Because there's many who may be working 2-3 jobs. It's a serious thing.
Yeah, that's true. And then the individual too could also be maybe later in years, right? Maybe they should be now thinking of retiring, but what are they doing?
Right.
They've traveled. for greener pastures. So what does that mean for that individual?
Yeah. And even mental health, I think it's something that most people don't think of, or they're, especially immigrants, they don't care as much. I would say some don't care as much just because it's their goal. Everything's set on that.
By fire, by force is the saying we like to use.
But some of the conditions that individuals may be working in or living in, it's not healthy. It's not helping them. And they're actually being a detriment to their own health, unfortunately. So they definitely suffer. And sometimes it's at what cause? You can see a person looking so drained, or like being so out of it, or just not even having the proper rest that they need.
It's crazy because you're here doing all that, and it may so happen that you're putting up a facade to family back home, like, oh yeah, everything's great, I'm good, you know, it's great. Oh, you know, you guys are getting the money, but no, the person could really be suffering.
Right.
So yes, you're being the superhero for your family back home.
Right.
Yes, you're providing. Yes, you're doing something for the community. That's great back home, but
are you okay?
You're suffering.
Right.
Yeah.
And other people who can get affected are like the family that you have here. Like, let's say, you know, the first scenario, let's just say you're a single person, but now let's say you're a family head. You have other relatives that are here with you that you live with. They're affected too, because are you meeting your basic needs, and then now you're giving an excess to those back home? Or even if you're not, let's not even put it on the fact that you're giving to those back home. Maybe you're even setting up something back home. Are you ensuring that you have your daily basic necessities here first, and now the excess that you have, you're using it to establish whatever back home? If not, then you're taking away, taking food essentially out of the mouth of those here to provide for others.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, that can be a really huge issue. But then now it's like, as we're talking, I'm just thinking like, so now you have to kind of educate that person back home, the family or whoever that you're trying to provide for or trying to help. Like, hey guys, you know, your family up here are suffering. It's not that easy. So chill.
And it may be hard to understand too, because I would say a lot of times you are able to just take a few minutes back home and just relax, take it easy, or just go to a nice spot and just relax, decompress. But to do that here, if you're just thinking about how can I get more money, you don't have that time to just sit down.
You don't have that luxury.
Yep, you don't have that luxury to sit down and decompress and to really just enjoy life. Life is just the means a lot of times when you're struggling abroad to just make that money, and that's all you care about, nothing else.
Yeah. And so we really just don't want to distort reality for those back home and thinking like, oh, everything is so amazing and you know, things are always awesome here. And it's like, but here's the thing, there are some who are living it up. Like, they come here and they hit the jackpot, in essence, not literally from gambling or anything like that, but like they just come and they just do amazing. But is that everyone's story?
Yeah.
No.
Is that everyone's story?
And you saying that there are some that come here and they live amazing, but that's because those ones are also not banking all their resources or their money back home in their native country. They're whatever they're making the life that they want here. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure maybe they might give a handout here and there, but it's not like every week I'm doing it.
And I think another thing to mention is that we're not focusing on the families who they come from like money, right? Like if you come from money back home and you come here, we're not talking about you guys. We're talking about people who like, you're okay, you're all right. Maybe some of you guys, you might be even struggling. So we're talking about that group of people where it's like, maybe we're having our basic needs met, but we want to elevate ourselves and our lives. Or we're like actually at the bottom of the barrel and we're trying to like get out of that. So those are the ones we're referring to, because we know, listen. We know that even if you come from a third world country, it's not everyone who is struggling, who is just like running away because they want to leave some type of poverty or something. No, there are people who are doing well and they're like, we want to do better. or they're just like, I want to try something different. So let's not put out that narrative of like, oh, immigrants are shut. No,
Not all of them.
yeah.
So all in all, it's really a gamble, right? There are some who come, they've succeeded. They're even able to do something back home, build a house or two. I don't know. But then there's also some on the other hand who come, they struggle, get sick. Or maybe not even get sick, but they just grow old here and couldn't do something back home that they wanted, right? And
I think it's true, going back to that, people still do this and perpetuate it because it works for some. It's not going to work for everyone, but it does work for some. And I think the beauty in our discussion is, weigh the pros, the cons, and make an educated decision based on,
All the facts.
Not just like, oh, everyone does it, so I'm going to do it. Is it going to work for you?
Right.
yeah, and whatever you choose, work hard at it, right? Work whole soul to it. Try your best. But like you say, like, it's no one knows tomorrow, right? It seems to be a gamble, so you just have to have your mindset, have your perspective. Is that the right word? And yeah,
right. And so I think it's a really interesting topic. Once again, like, guys, we always ask you, like, are there instances in which you have witnessed this, you experienced this, you're going through this, you're trying to decide, should I? What is my goal? Like, do I want to focus on myself here in this new country that I'm in? I want to focus on myself, my family, building my future here. And then I'll think about there later, the place I came from later. Or are you like, no, I want to balance both. Like, if I'm winning here, everybody back home, or like my immediate family back home, they have to win too. Like, tell us what is going on. You want to share some stories? Listen, I will listen. I'll listen.
so please go ahead and leave your comments. Please do. And don't forget to subscribe and
like and share it.
That's the greatest gift.
So thank you so much for watching another episode of
Market on the Wall podcast.
Bye.
Bye.